There's actual hope for the Yankees in this series against Tampa. No, really.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias, and this episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
Hey, today we're, of course, going to talk about the Yankees' big win over the A's, the series sweep. We're going to do that a little bit later, so the show's going to be feeling a little different today. Of course, we also have to chat about Luis Severino's first rehab appearance, his first real rehab appearance. We'll talk about that later on in the show. Just a reminder to our new subscribers here on YouTube, by the way, we have an audio feed, so in case you have to take us on the go, you can find us literally everywhere. Stacey, just as the title suggests, I think the A's series, while went the way that it's supposed to, may have given the Yankees a bit of a jolt. And I think this series against Tampa could benefit from that big series sweep.
I think so. Yeah. And I know people will say the A's haven't even won 9 games. The Rays, have they lost 9 games at this point? They're just incredible. It's like they're the
As
opposite.
of the time they're recording, they have I think they're 29-8. Just kidding.
Okay. So I think they're the opposite, right? I think the A's are 8-29 and the Rays are 29-8, which is unbelievable.
Again, as of this recording, we're recording before tonight's or last night's Orioles-Rays game.
Yeah. And it's like, that's unbelievable how they're literally going from the worst to the best in back-to-back series. But I feel like this is a series the Yankees needed, and they needed to win in this manner. They needed to score all those runs and do it the way that they did, because you're supposed to beat up on bad teams when you're a good team. And the Yankees, when not injured and on paper, are a good team. It's just this season has been wacky. And I feel like there is actual hope for this series, because the series last week was close. The worst performance, obviously, was when they had the 6-run lead in the Cole game, which is, who expects Garrett Cole to have that kind of a meltdown? It was just a really odd thing. So we're going to get into the numbers about how close that series actually was. But I can't believe I'm saying this, feeling not completely confident, but I'm feeling like, hey, this could be a good series between these two teams.
Yeah, and there's 3 big reasons. We're going to get into it in a little bit here, Stacey. But before we do that, this series in particular, we said it last time, we called last series against Tampa Bay the biggest series of the year. And I think when we say that, and let's be frank, we're going to say it again, it's the biggest series of the year again.
Yeah.
I think that is very much coming from a Yankee-centric point. I think the Rays at this point aren't feeling that pressure whatsoever.
No, not at all.
I don't even think they're thinking about it.
No, I don't think so either. I think they just want to beat up on everyone that they play against. No matter who the opponent is, they just want to win games. I mean, the Yankees obviously want to do that too, but the Rays aren't thinking about, oh, it's the Yankees, we have to beat the Yankees. But the Yankees, looking way up at the Rays, who are way ahead of them in the standings, are thinking, we have to go into this and come out of it. It can't be a split. Split's not going to help them in any way. It has to be a 3 out of 4 or something that hasn't happened to the Rays yet, a sweep. And it's
no kidding.
4-game sweeps are really difficult. I know they happen, but they are really difficult to pull off. And, as we said, the Rays are really good. So that would be a tall mountain to climb for the Yankees.
No
but
kidding.
If they could win 3, that would be a big boost for this team.
Yeah, especially considering after this, they're only going to see each other 6 more times.
Yeah.
That makes this thing so much tougher for the Yankees if they want. I mean, we've all but given up on the AL East, it feels like already. We've already told Locked On Yankees viewers and listeners to stop looking at the standings at this point. So I'm sure if there's any Rays fans coming over here, that feels amazing to hear. But I mean, if you want to climb the AL East, like, now's the time. Like, you cannot wait and hope that, the Minnesota Twins knock down the Tampa Bay Rays and spiral them. Like, you have fate a bit in your own hands here. Yes, it's May. We'll say that 1,000 times, but you kind of got to win.
Yeah, it's interesting this season now with the spread out schedule where you're not playing your rivals as much. In some ways, it's a relief for the fans because you get kind of sick of seeing the Red Sox and the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles 19 times a season. But when it comes to this, the head to head and the teams needing to play each other and the Yankees needing to help their own cause, this is it's strange. Yeah.
Stacey, the last time the Rays and Yankees met while the results for New York weren't there, there are some caveats to it. Again, we're going to get into our 3 reasons why you should be optimistic for this in just a second. But the last time they met, Stacey, let's go ahead and run down the numbers from what happened in that series.
The Yankees scored 14 runs. Tampa scored 15 runs because every game was a 1-run game. And the Yankees hit 3 homers, Tampa 4. The Yankees batting average was 248. Tampa's was only 260. It wasn't like they were hitting the crap out of the ball. The ERAs very close also. Yankees slightly better at 4.44. Tampa was at 4.50. It was just close all around, really. You couldn't ask for, the only thing you could ask for is a flipped outcome of 2 out of 3 for the Yankees. But when you look at those numbers, that's a really close series. That's as close as you can get, really.
Yeah, and they were kind of like the Yankees were slowing down already at when they entered that series. Remember, Judge was out for that series, so the team was not in the best of shape. Not going to say that they're Herculean right now or anything, but they definitely are in a better spot now than they were a week ago when they faced them last time. We don't know who Tampa's starting as of this recording. Again, we're recording after the Yankees game on Wednesday. But Stacey, game 1, Domingo Germán goes. They get Garrett Cole in game 2. Nestor goes game 3, and Clark Schmidt in game 4. How are you feeling about that? Not just those 4 guys, but that order right now.
No, I'm kidding. I just don't want them going into Sunday trying to avoid a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Rays with Clark Schmidt going. No offense to Clark Schmidt. He pitched 6 innings the other night and good for him. But it's almost like a tent pole with Cortez and Cole in the middle. And I feel like Cole might be on a mission because he was pissed after Sunday and he was upset with himself after Sunday. And he has something to prove this weekend. And I feel like we're going to get angry Garrett Cole on the mound on Friday. And it'll be interesting to watch that. Germán, he has an issue with the first inning. His ERA in the first inning over his career is above a 5. So he needs to get out of the first inning unscathed. And we've said that about a few people in the rotation, but that's a big one for Germán, and the Rays are really good offensively. So if he can get out of the first without giving up anything, maybe that could get the ball rolling for him and maybe settle him down and he can pitch okay.
Yeah, Tampa's in the midst of only 1 off day in the month of May. So Randy Arozarena gets the day off on Wednesday, so he'll be fresh for Thursday against Domingo Germán. So definitely a matchup right there to keep your eye on. But Germán's trending in the right direction.
Yes.
Schmidt's coming off of a solid outing. Cole with something to prove, weirdly enough, even though he's already done way more than anybody else on the Yankees this season. And Nestor, I feel, is fairly reliable right now.
Yeah, he's also heading in the right direction, too.
He's heading in the right direction. Yeah. So without further ado, Stacey, the 3 reasons, we've kind of touched on all of them. Yeah. But I think the biggest one for me is Bader and Judge are back. And Bader's playing out of his mind right now.
Still, he played out of his mind against Oakland as well. I mean, it was a big showing in Tampa for him to come in, be like, I'm back, here I am, and hitting the way he was. And he continued it against Oakland, and hopefully he'll continue it again. And as we said the other night, Judge and Bader are in the lineup. This is the first time all season that they're together in the lineup. And that's a big boost for the Yankees, just having Judge back. And he's been hitting. He had 3 hits against Oakland on Wednesday. So it's a different team. It's only a week and it's different. Just having Judge back makes such a big difference.
The second reason we have optimism here, we touched on Cole and Cortez in the middle there. Either way, if game 1 goes good or bad, you get Cole right away. So you can either kind of stomp on the throat or you can punch back.
Right.
And then again, Herman and Schmidt are trending in the right direction. I think you got to take those wins when you can get them. I have more faith in Domingo Herman than Clark Schmidt right now, but Schmidt pitched well the other night.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think you should take that away from him. I don't care what offense he's facing. You still have to pitch, and he pitched well. Because we saw some guys couldn't pitch well against Oakland. Let's be frank.
Right.
So that, I think, with these four guys, I think this is a pretty solid order to have them in, considering the shape that the Yankees rotation is in right now. And then the third reason, the series is back in New York. That's completely different. The Yankees are 14-8 at home. They have a losing record on the road at 7-9. Like, that is, yes, the early returns. It's mid-May, but hey, man, like it does matter. It does matter being able to play at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yeah. And the Yankees have, in the last probably 5 or 6 seasons, have had major issues playing at Tropicana Field. So it's much better to watch, for me, to watch a Rays Yankees series in Yankee Stadium compared to the Trop. So, yeah. And I'm sure the Yankees are happy about that, too. I would think. Yeah.
And they didn't have to travel.
Yeah.
They're already at home. They played a day game. They get to eat dinner where they want to eat dinner. They get to watch some basketball, and then they
actually they're having it's the welcome, not the welcome home dinner, but they're honoring David Wells tonight. It's like so that's why the game was kind of early for the school thing, and then they actually, some of them have something to do tonight, but it should be fun for them.
They get to sleep in their own bed. They get to get their own coffee in the morning. Like, there is no travel, like how the Rays will have to play against Baltimore and then fly to New York. Yeah, it's a short trip, but still, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So, look, we may sound a little over optimistic here for the way the Yankees have played over the last couple of weeks, but the way they're playing now, yes, granted against Oakland, but I think the Yankees, I don't think it's too far out of the question to win 3 or 4 here.
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't. I think a split is totally possible, and I don't think 3 or 4 is otherworldly out of the question. The Yankees are playing well. They are. So you got to give those credits. Let us know how you're feeling about this series. Again, it starts here tonight, 7:05. You can catch it on the SiriusXM app, like every Yankees game this season with John and Susan. By the way, don't forget to drop your questions in the comment section down below. On tomorrow's show, of course, we have Fan Mail Friday, so make sure to drop your questions. That way we can answer them in tomorrow's show. We alluded to the Oakland A series. We have to talk about that finale yesterday. That's coming up next.
Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. Game Time also has flash deals and last-minute tickets. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, and they even give you images of your seats so you know what you'll be seeing. With their lowest price guarantee and even event cancellation protection, Game Time is the best place to buy tickets in just a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're set. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Back here on Locked On Yankees, second segment, we got to talk about that Oakland A's finale, that big victory 11-3. We want to thank you again for making us your first listen and for being an everydayer, listening and watching every day. To our everydayers out there, don't forget, coming up tomorrow, it's Fan Mail Friday. Get your questions in, drop them down below here on our YouTube side, and you can be a part of the show. We will talk about what you say. Isn't that cool? And by the way, it doesn't have to be all Yankee stuff. We've talked just general baseball and like kind of like the business of baseball before too. It's like, how does the IL work? Things like that. If you have any burning baseball questions, hey, if the ball hits the umpire, did you know that that's a dead ball? I learned that the other day. Anyway, Stacey, Oakland A's, New York Yankees, 11-3 Yankees win and a 3-game series sweep after yesterday's big victory.
Yes. A much needed sweep. We said they needed to sweep this series, and they did convincingly also, which is a good thing. It was just it was a perfect day at the stadium, like 70 something degrees, sunny, lots of kids in the stands, and it was I kind of wish I was there for it because it seemed like the perfect baseball game and day,
Uh-huh.
that sort of thing. Um, Johnny Brito, not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. Only lasted 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Um, he has a home run problem.
Yeah, he ran into that last year too in
Yeah,
Scranton.
yeah. Now the one thing was his fastball command wasn't really there, but the A's were 1 for 8 against his sinker. That was working for him, but everything else was kind of giving him a little bit of a problem. But, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse, and it wasn't. So I'm not going to get too mad at him. He's given up 4 home runs in his last 10-ish innings pitched, 2 on Wednesday. And I mean, his ERA in day games, 1.98. I saw that on Yes. He tends to pitch better in day games than he
Yeah.
does at night. So I thought that was an interesting stat, but not terrible, but not great for Brito today.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember what Johnny Brito is right now. Like, I think this kid's got some potential. I like him. I think he's got good makeup. He's got a very calm demeanor. But you got to remember right now, it's like he probably shouldn't be in the majors. He
Mm-mm.
should probably still be with the Rail Riders, and likely had things worked out a little bit better to start the season, Brito would probably be the leader of that starting rotation in Scranton. So it's different. It's different for him. And the more he pitches, the more adjustments he has to make because it's that cat and mouse thing,
Yeah,
right? Where it's like, okay, I make a move, now they make a change, now I got to change this. It's like the more you pitch in the majors, the more data they get on you.
you're right.
So it's tougher. It's definitely tougher. But at least the offense stays backed them up in a big way.
Oh, yeah. So it's the first time the Yankees have scored 7+ runs in at least 4 straight games since August of 2019. They did it in 5 straight games then. The last 8 games, they're averaging 6.3 runs. Their batting average is 268. They've hit 16 home runs in those last 8 games. And they're 6-2 in their last 8. And I feel like they've done this quietly in a way because, they
Yes, they
lost
have.
they lost the 2 against Tampa, but like around those 2 losses, the Yankees have done really well. So yeah, they're heating up at the right time.
Yes, they absolutely are. And of course, a lot of it had to do with big old Volpe
Yeah.
out of nowhere coming in with the salami.
Yeah. Someone had posted his XWOBA and how it was trending upward and that he was getting barrels on the ball, but that they were getting caught. And they thought that at some point, one of those balls he was hitting in the air was going to carry and leave the park. And it just happened to be that grand slam. I mean, he hit that pretty far. It went to, left center field, like right to the left of Monument Park. It was glorious. And he could tell right off the bat it was great. I just thought that was awesome. And his teammates, the way they reacted to it. And he's the 3rd youngest Yankee behind Mickey Mantle and Melky Cabrera to hit a grand slam. And here's a fun fact. And I know this, but Derek Jeter did not hit his first grand slam until June of 2005. It was his 1400th 31st game. It took Volpe 38 games to hit his first grand slam. So just because they're always comparing him to Jeter because
They'll
it's
never not.
right, it's the same position and he was the same age and it's the whole big thing. So I just thought that was a funny thing to happen. So we got that monkey off his back. We keep talking about that, like with Hicks with the home run and the double. So now Volpe gets his first grand slam out of the way, and now he could just keep hitting them if he wants to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the offense obviously flowing 11 runs on Wednesday. They're able to pick up 10 on Tuesday, 7 in the Monday victory. Like they played the way they're supposed to play. And I think for Yankees fans, that's kind of maybe settling things down. I think the pessimists are going to continually just be, well, it's against Oakland. It's against Oakland. I know. We all know.
We all
But they
know.
still won because
Right.
if they had lost those games, if you had flipped those scores, you'd be losing your minds.
Right.
They won. Wins are wins.
Yeah.
3 wins in a row there are 3 wins in a row. I don't care who it comes against. we all got that same schedule. Everybody's going to play everybody here. So they won them.
Yeah.
Be happy.
And Oakland's won 8 games. It's not like they've been swept in every single series that they
it's
played.
not like they're 0-1,000 here.
Yeah.
Like, they still play ball.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple moments where they gave them a little bit of their run. There were a couple of homers. So you're just going, these guys can still hit.
Well, today's game was 4-2 to a point, and then the Yankees busted it open. But
yeah, it's a close game.
Mm-hmm.
Close game for a second.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of that help, Stacey, the offense was from who you have in your hot, cold, and heating up. Who's hot?
Harrison Bader. We already mentioned how hot he's been. He was hot. He was heating up in Tampa, but he was really hot. And now he's like burning hot against the
scorching
A's.
hot.
Scorching.
Who's cold?
Now, this is going to be a different kind of cold. It's not a bad cold. It's an ice cold. The bullpen. The Yankees bullpen has the best ERA in baseball. They're 4th best in strikeouts. And 24 of 36 games, they've allowed 1 or fewer runs as a group, which is incredible.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Ice cold. Ice in the veins.
Mm-hmm.
Stone cold.
Stone cold.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah.
And Stace, who is heating up?
Anthony Rizzo's heating up again. He's batting over 400 during his latest hitting streak, which is now 8 games, and he's reached base in 11 out of his last 19 plate appearances. So he is definitely heating up. Just again, at the right time. This is all happening at the right time.
You said that. I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore. Anthony Rizzo's playing well. That's it. You say that the Yankees have been winning quietly. Anthony Rizzo's been doing that quietly.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you're not mentioning him that much because Glaber's hitting home runs, DJ's hitting home run, the Volpe grand slam kind of overshadows what Rizzo's been doing the last few games. And Bader, I mean, no, him coming back and hitting the way he is kind of also overshadowed.
Yeah.
What? Overshadowed. That's the word I'm looking for. Rizzo.
We're doing great today.
Really?
It's because we're recording way earlier than we're used to at this point.
It's still light out here.
It is. Yeah, I know. The sun's still out. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, don't forget that you can drop your questions for us for tomorrow's show, the Friday show, Fan Mail Friday, as always. Drop them in the comment section here on YouTube. But for our audio listeners, jump on over to the YouTube side. It is linked in the episode description. And, of course, you can catch tonight's game against Tampa Bay on SiriusXM. Just download the SiriusXM app and get a free trial. It's super, super simple. And just search Yankees. Coming up next, we're going to check in. How did Luis Severino look in his first true rehab appearance? Coming back in a second.
So Rare is a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace, transforming fans into owners with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, So Rare managers truly own their fantasy experience, collecting, buying, selling, and competing with player cards against global opponents to win epic rewards. Win or lose, you still own your cards, and there's no cost to play. MLB game weeks happen twice weekly. They span 3 to 4 days, and at the end of those weeks, So Rare managers who rank at or near the top of the leaderboards will win a variety of rewards. That could include cards, tickets, merchandise, and even VIP experiences. Prizes may vary depending on the competition. Head to sorare.com/lockedon, that's spelled SORARE.com, to draft your team of free player cards, set your lineup, and start competing today to win epic rewards. Again, that's sorare.com/lockedon to start playing today.
Stacey, Luis Severino had his first rehab appearance after his sim game fiasco. But back in action in the Wednesday day game in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre facing off the Omaha Storm Chasers. A walk-off win, by the way, for the Rail Riders. Nice. They've taken the first 2 of that series. How did Sevy look in that outing?
He threw 3 1/3 innings. He allowed a home run and a broken bat single. He walked 1, struck out 3. So a mixed bag, I would say. You know, at this point, you really just want him to feel healthy, right? In rehab starts, you want him to help the team win, obviously. But when you're watching from a Major League fan's point of view, you just want these guys to go to their rehab games, not hurt themselves or re-injure themselves, and do okay. And yeah, I mean, that's fine. He averaged 95.9 on his fastball. He topped out at 98, which is also very nice to see from him because you want to see Luis Severino dial it up to 98. He got 7 whiffs on 20 swings. And the most important thing is he felt healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it seems like he's, we talked about this recently on how there's maybe some miscommunication between the Yankees and Luis Severino, or maybe misunderstandings or how they feel a little differently on how to approach this thing. It feels like Sevy is pushing himself to get through. And this kind of stuck out to me. It seems like, he threw the 3 innings and it seemed like maybe they wanted him to be done. And Sevy's like, I want one more batter. Let me get up and go out and face one more batter. And he did and got out of it like no problem. No issues arose there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about this at length, so I'm not going to belabor the conversation again here, Stacey, but just your thoughts on him wanting to go back out for that 4th inning.
It's just such a Severino thing to do because he's that type of player. When he's playing, he's fired up and he wants to take the ball and he wants to finish guys off. And you like that fire in a player. Like, of course, you don't want him to do anything to hurt himself, but you want him to be like that. You want him to say, no, give me the ball. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get this guy and let me do this.
It seems like, Stacey, that he's still a couple outings away here.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want that pitch count to keep pushing higher and higher every time out. But, like you said, 96 or so on that fastball average, and he's pumping it up nearing triple digits. Like, that's definitely an encouraging sign, especially when you consider the injury that he's dealing with that lat strain.
Yeah. That's a big key there because that lat is what gave him not the same part of the lat, but he had the lat injury in 2022 that kept him out for a really long time. Although that was also the Yankees keeping him out for a really long time. So it was a combo of the two. But yeah, I think they said, did they say Tuesday he was going to start again?
That would make sense.
I think so.
That'd be a little late, but yeah, I would think he maybe be able to go Sunday. But yeah, maybe because he obviously can't do Monday.
Yeah.
Because they don't play. Stacey, we kind of touched on this a couple of days ago, but Brito or Schmidt, I think these next couple of outings, if Schmidt pitches well on Sunday, maybe he stays in the rotation and Brito gets sent down. I don't know. I think Herman's pretty safe.
I think so too.
It's right now it's down to Brito or Schmidt for that eventual roster move.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think they would probably, I think no matter how Schmidt pitches on Sunday, I feel like Brito would be the move because Schmidt has experience coming out of the bullpen for the Yankees. And, maybe Brito just needs more seasoning down in AAA.
Yeah. I mean, I think regardless he does.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's be fair, man. Johnny Brito's held his own and he's been asked to do a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Like
you said earlier, we didn't expect this, and he certainly didn't expect to be in the Yankees rotation to start the 2023 season.
Yeah.
So
remember, I think we did like a depth chart during spring training, and I'm sure if you could probably find the clip if you really wanted to go find it. There's too many hours of us talking about Yankees baseball at this point. Yeah. But I'm sure that you could find me going like, oh yeah, there's Johnny Brito, who's probably not going to pitch here this season.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've said those words at some point. But I mean, not saying I was doubting him at any point, because I
didn't think there was a need for him.
Yeah, or that he would be asked to do it for this long. I thought, be like, well, he'll get a couple spot starts until Sevy comes back, and then it's back to the Herman versus Schmidt thing, and then that's just completely out the window now.
Yep.
Or maybe we're now finally getting it once it comes to late May or mid May. If you really, I don't know. I think it's still 2 rehab starts for Sevy. I don't think he's only going to go one more. I think they're going to try and push for 2 more.
I think so too, because of the whole pitch count thing. Because I think what was today, they wanted 50 out of him, and I think they're going to keep ramping it up, and probably by
60, 70, yeah.
Yeah, by the third one they should be looking at 70 to 80.
70 to 80, yeah. That's what I'd figure. And then that way, the next time out would be, under 90, and that would be in the majors.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see how long it takes. Don't forget, the series starts tonight with Tampa Bay, a 4-game set out in the Bronx. You can catch the whole series on SiriusXM. Coming up on tomorrow's show, our final show of the week. Stacey, Fan Mail Friday. Of course, drop your questions down below. And of course, we will always talk about that previous night's game, which will be game 1 against Tampa Bay. We'll have a full recap and our thoughts on that when we come back on tomorrow's show. But that's going to do it for today. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gatsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.